Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Tuesday, August 29th. We're going to take a look at Affirm today. So Affirm is putting in a really interesting chart on the daily. So we see this big W pattern forming, and we're just getting to the last leg of the W. So I wanted to put in some levels, some trend lines, and then flip over to the Thinkorswim and look at the study there and call it a video. So I'm going to start with the obvious things here and put in this very apparent triple top that is already starting. I know it's not at the top yet, not to this 1974 yet, but that to me, well, I'll just leave it blue. That has a bit of a range. It had this candle body, it has this wick, a couple of candle bodies, and now today's wick. So really, really interesting levels getting put in there. Now, my question is it going to break out here additionally, or is it going to retrace? And if it's going to retrace, what's it going to retrace to? Because there's several places where it could retrace to. An obvious level would be here, around 1783. It's going to be another one. I need to sort of split the difference, but about 1829. Yeah, that's a good one. Good-ish. It's not great. It's good, not great. We'll call it there, 1863. And then let me see if there's something sort of more near in. Yeah, that's a pretty good level. 1892. Trying to see if there's anything on this candle body. Yeah, 1904. So to the downside, 1904 is the level that I would look at for support if it wants to pull back and confirm support. If it can't hold that, the next level would be 1892 as I see it, 1863, 29, and 1783. I'll put a couple of additional levels below just in case we don't get a chance to come back expediently and tend to affirm if it starts to show some sort of rapid decline. At 1666 level, for what it's worth, looks very, very strong to me. Yep, 1581. And then the last thing I'll put in is just this gap. There's a gap here from about 15. This would be a down gap at this point. It is an up gap, but it would be filling it with downward price action. And it would enter that at about 15, and it would fill it at about 1460. So is it going to do that? I don't know. But that's interesting. If it does start to put in some motion in that range, that's what I'd look for. And then if momentum continues to carry it even lower, which I think is quite common, 1420 and then 1365 could be of interest as well. So those are the levels that I'm going to look at. And certainly the reason that I have this in here as a box and not as just a line is I'm interested to see as it enters this area of sort of rough terrain, what it does. Because if it gets to 1975 and shows any bit of strength, it could be off to the races. I mean, it's done it before, right? It's clearly done it before. That line right here is $125. So it's had wild things happen previously and has left big gaps going up and has come down a long, long way to fill those. So let's not forget that. So I'm pretty interested to see what's going to happen here. There was a gap here as well. That's been filled at this point. So yeah, Thinkorswim on the daily today, jumping up out of the channel. So it has several recent experiences leaving the channel. This one here. Now what I always look for, if you've watched any of my other videos, is if it leaves the channel to the upside or to the downside, a little bit here, I look for it to revert to the median range of the channel. That middle range, that bright blue, 1603. as it sits today, but that number changes every time a candle gets put in. So, it left the channel here and it came down and it just kind of blew through that mid-range of the channel. It's kind of in a shocking fashion. I guess it kind of nearly, the wick of this candle tried to reach it, but it just couldn't. And it just struggled with it all along, and then it had a really strong drawdown. And then when it was able to take it again, then it pushed the upper bound of the channel. So I'm interested to see what it does now that it's left the channel. When does it come to retest? What does it do when it retests? Those are the interesting things to me. Now, previously, it left the channel, drew back, and this is when it seems to have really good strength, in my opinion. Leaves the channel, comes back, doesn't even need to get to the mid-range. It tests that sort of green cloud, that bullish cloud, and just continues to ride that. That, to me, indicates like really strong strength. So if it does that again, then we might spend some additional time out of the channel. But otherwise, I'll be looking to see if and when it makes a movement back toward the mid-range of the channel, what does it do then? Also of interest, you see here, it jumped out of the channel when it was already several days into a bullish run. Let's look at that other one. Came up here, several days into a bullish run. This is leaving the channel on several days of declining bearish momentum. So this is the total opposite, jumping out the upper bound of the channel on decreasing bearish momentum. So it's unique in that way. So that's why I'm additionally interested to see what it's going to do now that it's out there. And this is a really wide channel as it is. It's not like it's a really short, small, compressed channel and it's getting out of there. It's getting out of a really, really broad channel, providing it a lot of range. So, it's quite an impressive move. And I'm interested to see what happens from here. All right, folks, I hope that your week is off to a good start and that you have some nice trading days ahead. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.